Now, welcome everybody. We are so pleased to have you here. This is such a joyous event. My name is Lisa Hoffman, and I am the interim dean for the School of Urban Studies. And Jan Dierwechter, the current interim associate dean, is the two of us will be your MCs for this evening. But it's really spectacular. We are so excited to be in person together. This has been a long time. Many of you are graduating after having most of your classes online, so we're especially pleased to have this kind of celebratory event together. We'd also like to recognize a few special people that are here. We have Ali Madaris, who is usually the Dean of Urban Studies, and currently serving as our Executive Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we also have three of our advisory board members, our chair, Emily Hall, Christina Walker, council member, and Scott Newman. Thank you all for coming and being so supportive of urban studies. And Jan and I wanted to do a special thank you to Candy Acosta for all of her work in getting this together. So this is a recognition of all of your great work. Many of you are graduating, many of you are continuing on, but we would like to have a special recognition of the students who are graduating in the class of 2022. So if you are graduating this year, would you please stand? Let's give them a big round of applause. Woo-hoo! That's terrific. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So a few words of wisdom as you set out, very few. Be true to yourself and to those that you love. Follow your passions and keep in touch with us. We love to hear about your successes, and we know there are going to be many. You are going to impact the world, and we can't wait to hear about it. So congratulations to everybody, and to begin our first award, I'm going to pass it to Jan. Let me turn this.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and you can all hear me, I hope. The first award that we'll be giving tonight is the Dean's Award for Service to the Program. Service to the Program. And I'm going to ask Bara, and if you want to come up here with me, let me just tell you what this award recognizes, and then I'll tell you who the winners are this year, and then we'll say some really nice things about them and embarrass them in front of our friends and loved ones. The Dean's Award for Service to the Program is an award given to students who volunteer their time in service to the program through active involvement in student organizations or building community among students at the program and campus level. And this year, we're going to ask Peter Kaljian and Amanda Henritzey to come up. You can come up right now and get embarrassed. You might as well get started right now. And I think the first two, we'll give them at the end. Let me say a few words. Come on over here. Let me say a few words about Peter, and then Bara will say a few words about Amanda. I'm really delighted to present this award to Peter, who, like other faculty, we know our students mainly in the classroom. And the classroom is an important space for building community, for building, particularly during a pandemic, and particularly always at a commuter campus. And we are really grateful to have students that go beyond coming to class and really see themselves as part of a larger community and do a lot of small work to build a sense of community in the classroom. And Peter really came to my mind right away as somebody that's just done an enormous amount of good work in that most important classroom moment, where we build lifelong friendships. I think you'll find lifelong friendships with each other. And also, I really wanted to recognize Peter's contribution to reviving our student organization, Civitas, which as you can imagine, the last few years has been difficult to keep going. And he was instrumental, along with Amanda, along with Kristen, others here tonight, in reviving a tradition in our school for many years, which is taking students of Civitas to another city. And in this case, we went to Portland to see what we could see down there and see what's going on. And Peter was absolutely instrumental in corralling everybody and getting everybody organized, and then led us on a tour in the downtown area. And I just want to say thank you to Peter in public for that effort, not only for the students here this evening and in this year's cohort, but for future students. These kinds of things make a dramatic impact for those yet to come in our program. So thank you very much. Peter has many wonderful qualities, but one is just a curiosity, an absolute curiosity. And so if you're like me, the most interesting people you meet are generally the most interested people that you know. And that's Peter. So thank you very much, Peter.
Okay, our next awardee is Amanda Henritzi, and it gives me great pleasure to present this award to Amanda. She not only excels across the academic tasks of her urban design degree and her minor in sustainable urban development, but she has also taken up leadership roles among her peers across the School of Urban Studies. I've gotten to know her during the past 2.5 years and seen her grow into a student leader, both in the urban design studio among her cohort and outside the classroom as a research assistant and a teaching assistant for multiple professors. On top of that, she has served as the vice president of Civitas, the student organization. And Amanda really is a student that faculty hope to have in class. Someone who is organized, ahead of the game, and is generous to share their insights with the peers inside and outside of the classroom while making their progress and hard work cool, which is awesome for any faculty member to have in the classroom. I would not be surprised if some students thought she was a faculty member based on how present she has been in many courses and student activities in the school. It has been an absolute gift having you in the program and the school, Amanda, and I can't wait to follow what future has in stock for you, so congratulations. Well deserved.
This next award is the Dean's Award for service to the community. A word that's terribly important at this university and in Tacoma and the surrounding communities that we work with. It's given to students who demonstrate excellence in service to the campus and the greater community over multiple quarters. And it's we discuss these things in faculty meetings. We have really interesting discussions of all our wonderful students. And this year, we have 2 recipients. Queenie, where's Queenie? What did I see? Where's Queenie? Gipaya, yes. And Michelle Burchett. The most fun of being a professor is to embarrass your students with praise. It's so much fun. And I'm delighted to say a few words. And I really want to also recognize my colleague, Professor Matt Kelly, who's not able to be with us tonight, because I actually asked him to help me flesh out the details of your contributions. And he said, I'd like to read it for you. He said, in the classroom, Queenie has always been keenly interested to engage in real-world problems. I can speak to that. I've had her in my classrooms, too. Her GIS and urban design provide her with a tool set that has helped her to ground what we do in the classroom in applied ways. She joined the Action Mapping Project, which is a really important project in our program and also across our campus and in this community, to get involved in community engaged research, and she became an important part of that team very quickly. And within that project, she participated in several different community engaged projects over the past year. She helped facilitate focus groups and community meetings in South End Neighborhood Council to help put together a neighborhood action plan. Pretty good. And she worked with several other UWT students to develop and deliver a curriculum for a week-long youth mapping camp in partnership with the Metropolitan Development Center. It just gets more and more impressive, doesn't it? And third, she worked with a team of other students to analyze data from Tacoma Creates to support a project that is helping to improve equity and access in community arts funding. We ran out of paper, right? So the last thing is fourth, she is currently working with youth in schools to facilitate sketch map workshops in support of a neighborhood planning project in McKinley Hill. So let me thank you again, and all of us to thank for this wonderful contribution to our community, to Queenie.
Congratulations. I'm sorry that the other recipient of this award is not with us tonight, but I am going to speak about her. Michelle Burchett is graduating this year with a master's in community planning. And she is one of those people who holds leadership and inspiration together with compassion and empathy. From the very beginning of her studies 2 years ago, natural leadership was apparent in everything that she did. And it was really solidified in the energy that she has shown in the Capstone Studio project. She has impressed us with her grounded approach to serious questions of social justice and the building of a more equitable society. And yet, when she got involved with the formerly incarcerated student organization, which was a new organization on campus, she not only engaged deeply, but she also took on leadership of this movement. And unleashing this, we saw it really unleashed a new kind of passion and energy in Michelle. She raised money, she convened a large group of people on the issue, all while working full-time and getting her MA. The School of Urban Studies wants to recognize her great service to the community and her courage to speak up and out about it. And it's with deep admiration and respect that she has earned this award. So congratulations to Michelle. So next up is the Director's Award for Academic Excellence, and this will be presented by several faculty. There you go.
Yes, we'll have myself, Greg Lund, and Bara, again, will be presenting these awards. The Dean's Award for Academic Excellence is an award given to students who demonstrate excellence in academic achievement and scholarship. And we have our first recipient is Samantha Smith. Guess what I get to do to you now? I get to embarrass you. I actually want to include some comments from a colleague also not able to be with us this evening about Sam, who's been an absolutely extraordinary student in sustainable urban development and also as in urban studies as an undergraduate student. Along with a double major in law and policy, Sam has really exemplified what it means to be a UWT student. Works full-time, parent. Well, we're going to go full-time because half-time these days. All right, well, full-time summer and parenting and being a student and keeping the faculty in order and all that stuff. That's a full-time job. And so bringing a world of experience and benefits everyone who comes into contact with her. I want to say a few words about Professor Toffin's comments here, who really would like me to share this with you. She had Sam in urban governance class, and that was a winter of profound disruption and a lot of uncertainty, and wanted me to say that Sam never stopped showing up. Her work was absolutely outstanding and had terrific insight and contributions. brought a paper from another class and asked if she could take a more critical urban studies perspective and submit it to an undergraduate research forum at the other UW up there, you might have heard of, there in Seattle. And that really impressed Professor Hoffman, and has written quite a lot about the contribution of that. Sam was not only earning a perfect score in her class, but she also produced really original research on the Creative Arts District program in Washington State and its contributions to economic development, and including looking at patterns of gentrification and displacement in our cities in the state. She represented our school at the Research Forum in Seattle on May 20th, and she brings a great curiosity and energy to her work, and it's absolutely a delight to recognize her for academic scholarship. Thank you.
And I have next pleasure. I nominated Taylor Braden for this Dean's Award for Academic Excellence, and am honored to present it. I was fortunate enough to meet Taylor in spring of 2020 in TGIS 311, when Taylor told me he was thinking about the GIS certificate program. Now here we are 2 years of COVID later, and Taylor has earned a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, a certificate in Restoration Ecology, and a certificate in GIS, or Geographic Information Systems. All of that, I might add, summa cum laude, with highest distinction, and that occurred in 2021. Taylor has continued his academic excellence in the Master of Science in Geospatial Technologies program in the School of Urban Studies, while also helping out my GIS certificate student as my teaching assistant and running the GIS lab for me. This is also a position in which he volunteered to do and did so very well in spring and summer of 2021. While helping students or working on his own assignments, Taylor has developed the ability to solve countless hiccups with GIS software and how to methodically solve and resolve errors. Other professors have stated he's super kind and conscientious, a great student, and a great employee. He's always trying to help his cohort, excuse me, and making sure that he understands what's being asked of him. It has been a pleasure having Taylor in 3 of my classes and as a TA for the past year and a half. I have no doubt Taylor will continue his excellence as he enters the workforce after completing his Master of Science in Geospatial Technologies this summer. I'm excited to hear about your future endeavors, Taylor. Thank you for being a great student, a great teaching assistant, a friend. Congratulations, Taylor.
And then I've got the next 2 students who are not here. I'll start with Amanda Marie Pino. Marie is a stellar undergraduate student I was impressed with in my Intro to Urban Planning class in the winter quarter. She never missed a point on an assignment and exceeded the expectations of an undergraduate student by far. As an illustration of her hard work and excellence, I'll share that in this class, I asked students to critique the course textbook, which is not an easy task at all. I asked for 1-page paper. Marie wrote a brilliantly researched and cited tough 3-page critique that read like an article in The Atlantic. And that is just one example. It has been an absolute pleasure to have Marie in the class, setting the bar high and inspiring peers with her thoughtful comments, analysis, and writing. Congratulations on the recognition of her academic excellence. And straight to the next one, Matthew Chastain, who's also not here. is an urban design undergraduate student who has produced outstanding academic work in the 2 classes I taught him in the past year. He has worked very hard to attend all classes, whether remote or in person, and consistently delivered outstanding and thoughtful work. Matthew is one of the students who has a passion for learning and holds themselves to a very high standard. I'm looking forward to working with him in the upcoming urban design studios on his journey toward the urban design degree. Congratulations on the award, Matthew. And up next, we've got Dean's Award for Outstanding Research or Project, presented by Jim Thatcher.
So I'm going to present this to Liam Fisher, who's not here, and that's cool. But what I would say is, Liam has been at UWT for some time now. He graduated with an undergraduate degree, and he's currently pursuing a master's here. I mention this because this is an award for a research project, and his project grows out of his undergraduate work. And it's a really interesting testament to what's sort of been built here across the Urban Studies School. The sort of depth that's possible when one pursues related ideas across multiple years. Focusing squarely on the uneven impacts of environmental racism, Liam is working to build a coherent, impactful model of the relations between exposure to toxic chemicals in Tacoma and education outcomes for students, a topic we can all sort of agree, hey, that's interesting and important. And what's so enjoyable and impressive about his work is the mixture of literal physical labor, in this case on the ground, walking around Tacoma measuring air quality and taking samples, and highly advanced computational techniques such as multidimensional scaling and various clustering approaches. Many master's students rely on one or the other, but to build both a model and simultaneously ground truth it is a pleasure to see, and it speaks to the type of student that Liam is. Hardworking and fiercely committed to urban justice, something that I hope defines all of us here.
Vanessa, Umana, come up here, please. And I have the distinct pleasure of speaking about Vanessa, but I do want to say that Dr. Toffin provided the comments. So she says it has been an incredible pleasure to work with Vanessa, and she has worked as Dr. Toffin's TA, so teaching assistant, as Vanessa has with several other faculty, and more recently she has been supporting parts of Dr. Toffin's international work with the Sustainable Cities and Landscapes Hub and the Asia Pacific Mayors Academy Network. So really wonderful to be stepping up into that kind of a space. The work that Vanessa has completed also with Dr. Urena and Dr. Casas has clearly influenced the approach that she's been able to bring to other areas of her involvement and career development. So that's another very noteworthy achievement, is to be able to take those skills from one place and take them to another. So while we are sorry that we are losing her to the Masters in Urban Planning program at University of Washington, Seattle next year, congratulations, we are really hopeful that we'll be able to keep you involved in projects and initiatives here at UW-Tacoma and continue to build on the investment and knowledge of applied place-based work. Congratulations. We're very proud. And up next is the Catalyst Award for Academic Promise, and that will be presented by Emma Slager and Mark Pendris.
And if you'd like to make your way up here, we'll be honoring Oliad Gamechu and Joslyn Brown. So I get to talk about Oliad. Oliad came to UW-Tacoma after studying civil engineering at Jimma University in his home country of Ethiopia. In the Masters of Science in Geospatial Technologies, Oliad has excelled as both a problem solver and an asker of excellent questions. To his coursework, he brings an incredible attention to detail, collaborative generosity, and diligent hard work. In his independent capstone project, he is using geospatial technologies to solve urgent real-world problems related to agriculture and climate adaptation in Ethiopia. It's been a great pleasure to work with Oliad this year and to see him develop his voice and sharpen his skills, his many skills. And we can't wait to see what great things lie in your future.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. My turn, your turn. It's my pleasure to be presenting this Catalyst Award to Joslyn Brown. And I love the idea of academic promise that is embedded in this award, and it's especially gratifying to be giving this to Joslyn Brown. So I've had Joslyn in 3 different classes, and I was just reflecting on the fact that I think each one of those was in person somehow over through the pandemic. Whenever we would open up, the classes that I had with Joslyn were in person, and in each of those experiences, the outcome was the same. Joslyn would come to class promptly, ready to work. Her assignments are in. The level of quality is extremely high, and she's ready for the next task, ready to see what comes next. She may not have been the first person to answer any questions that I presented, but I could always count on Joslyn to provide an answer to a question once asked, and which I did a lot, to the point where I got called out for picking on Joslyn. One reason for that, I think, is that Joslyn is brave in the classroom and was always one of those very few students willing to sit right up in front, close, where somebody like me could pick on her. So anyway, again, this idea of academic promise clearly is built on a strong foundation of academic excellence for Joslyn, and so we're offering this award in part in recognition of that, and in part as encouragement for Joslyn, for you to keep pushing yourself and exploring new possibilities. And we all look forward to seeing what comes next for you. Congratulations.
So we're going to take a few minutes to honor the memory of a student who touched the lives of many of us in urban studies. And we are honored to have Darrell Wilson's mother, Brenda Wilson, and his grandmother, Granny, with us here tonight. Thank you for joining us. So Darrell, as you'll see here, was an amazing young man, passionate about education, fitness, and his career in GIS. And he recently worked at Tacoma Pierce County Health. He passed away in April of a rare soft tissue cancer. And we do want to emphasize that there is a possibility to donate to the Darrell D. Wilson Foundation. And more information is here that will help other young Black men pursue their passions. We have a few slides of pictures, but I also have some words I'd like to share. And then Dr. Thatcher will as well. So he is a graduate of urban studies and a beloved member of our community. We're so proud of what he accomplished here, earning his BA and his GIS certificate. He worked for Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. He also held internships at the City of Olympia and the City of Puyallup. And these are really notable achievements in a very short, unfortunately short career. But most important was who Darrell was in the world. He was deeply curious and he would visit my office hours, or he'd come to my office even when I didn't have office hours, and he always had a question, and he wanted to know more. He wanted to talk about the material. He wanted to learn. He had a hunger to know and to understand things that he cared about. He wanted to make sure that he understood all the nuance in the readings. The curiosity was so palpable. We loved his humor, the way he worked with others, and his passion for both his studies and everything around him. I will say that I found a paper that Daryl, the outline of a presentation that Daryl and a few classmates were giving. And it was so wonderful to see it again. It was about the achievement gap, and it was for the course Cities and Belonging. He was interested in the relationship between chronic absenteeism, how it was broken down between Black and white students, why that mattered, and the response of the schools to that kind of absenteeism, and how there were much higher suspension rates for the Black students than for the white students. He saw these issues around him, and he wanted to understand what research had been done, and he went and did his own research to understand the impact that was in the Tacoma public school system. So he has all these statistics. He did all this research and was passionate about addressing those kinds of social justice issues. There's so much to Daryl. We are so honored that you are here, and we absolutely support and send our love and comfort to all of you. Dr. Thatcher is also going to speak because he worked very closely with Daryl.
So if you want to know how much Daryl meant to me, that's my good banjo. That's like my custom-made one. Only people I really like get to touch that. and Daryl did. It's really, really hard to speak about how special a person like Daryl was. He showed up kind of out of the blue in my office one day, asking about a summer research program that I run. And, he applied, and we got like 200 applicants for like 10 spots, and he made it through. And every step of the way, he was just at the core of what we did and how we were able to do it. You bring in people from all over the country, and you make them live together in like a house, kind of like those old real worlds, and you make them work together all day. And it's not easy. And he was kind of the glue that bound everyone together, that bound us together too. Him and this like John Cena doll they found in the basement and really liked. The day I found out that Daryl had passed, I was giving a research talk on the research that I did with him. And it was 2 years later. And this isn't to make this about me, it's to emphasize how much Daryl touched all of our lives. He's someone that I think about a lot. He's someone that made me laugh innumerable times, sometimes intentionally, sometimes because the way he approached questions wasn't the way that you might expect. He was always so formal, so polite, and so caring, and so determined. If he didn't understand something on the first pass, he was going to stick around through the 7th or 8th until he did. If he couldn't, and then once he did, he was going to stick around to make sure that everyone else around him understood it too. I could keep talking, but I think I'll just stop there. That he's someone that in a very brief amount of time did so much and was so committed to helping others that it's something I think that we should all reflect on and strive for. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Jim. I'm also moved to say a few words about Daryl because I had him in several classes too, and I had an 8 a.m. class, very popular 8 a.m. class in the winter. And I had 2 Daryls that year, and you can't teach, you can't profess without students. It's a relationship, and the students that study make you better. You know, it's hard for us to explain that, and it's why they're permanently with us. They make us better at what we do. All of you do, right? And that's why it's hard to get across. So thank you again for being here, and thank you for Daryl. We recognize the students in lots of ways, and we're grateful. Sorry. Oh, she's going to say some words. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me? Hello? Hi, I'm Brenda Wilson, and the amazing young man they were talking about was my son, Daryl, and I just want to thank all of you all, the faculty, for, you know, extending this invitation for me and his grandmother for here to acknowledge Daryl. And he really said he was really passionate about GIS and the work that he was doing, and all of the influences that he got from all the professors here. He really took that with him into the real world, and it was really working well for him, and he was very successful until the end. And I just wanted to briefly, they asked me just to kind of acknowledge, we are going to be starting a foundation in Daryl's name. It's Daryl D. Wilson Foundation, and the foundation is basically Daryl's legacy, and anybody that knew and loved Daryl know that he was the type of guy that everything that he set out to do, he did it. You know, as far as graduating and getting his degree, he came here determined to get his degree. He did it without student loans, and he was very proud of that. He worked, you know, at the warehouse during the evenings, and then he came in the mornings, and he came to class, and he worked his way through everything. And so we're going to keep the legacy that he wanted to have going and through his foundation, and we're just asking that anybody that has, you know, that knows Daryl, and, you know, just we don't know what we're doing with this yet. This is just a new thing as far as I'm concerned. You know, his mother, I just wanted to keep his wishes going. That's kind of what my role is with the foundation. So we will be having different events and stuff going on. So I just would appreciate if everybody that, when you see that name, you know, just kind of put the word out, you know, about what Daryl, and the foundation is going to bring awareness to the rare cancer that Daryl had, and just a brief thing about the cancer. It is a pediatric cancer. Usually it's found in young patients, and for whatever reason, you know, Daryl, he ended up with that type of cancer. And so we want to bring awareness to that type of cancer and let everybody know that, especially for the pediatric side of it, you know, we want to help kids, because that was kind of Daryl's passion. He wanted to give back to the community, and he was very conscious of that. So, and then there's a lot of other things that it's going to encompass, but I just, you know, I appreciate everybody that's here, and the ones that knew Daryl, and, you know, supporting him and remembering him. I'm very gracious and grateful for that. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And it's an actually excellent segue to awards that we give, scholarship awards that we give. These scholarships, we have 2 sets of scholarships: the Urban Studies General Scholarship, which is open to any student pursuing a degree in our school. And funding for this scholarship is provided through gifts from alumni, from community members, from advisory board members. And once again, thank you to our advisory board members who came tonight and for your support by faculty and by staff. And we have two recipients this evening, Michaela Jacobson Brewer and Jung Ying Chong. And I don't know that I don't believe they're here tonight, but we're pleased to be able to support them. Do we have? Yeah? And then we'll go on to our next scholarship, which will the Mork and Petty Endowed Scholarship, which we've been very fortunate to be able to give away for many years, because this is awarded to an undergraduate student or students who have demonstrated high academic merit and financial need. It's named after Erling O. Mork, who was a former Tacoma city manager and director of the Tacoma-Pierce County Economic Development Board, and Ryan Petty, also formerly City of Tacoma Community Economic Development Director. And these are really, really helpful for our students. And so thank you very, very much for the support. And this year we have Kristen Bauer. Yes, Kristen. And we have Sam Smith, who we've seen earlier.
Okay, great. We want to do congratulations and get a photo of them in front of their slide. Congratulations. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So, while advisory board member Scott Newman is no longer with Columbia Bank, he has been instrumental in providing the support and the Columbia Bank Scholarship. So thank you very much for this. It is an important one. It is a significant financial support for graduate students in the School of Urban Studies. And Carla Lundgren is not here tonight, but the criteria for this scholarship is based on active participation in programmatic student organizations, community engagement involvement, and international urban area activities and interests. But just a couple words about Carla. She has been working full-time. Currently, she's working as an environmental planner while in the MA program in community planning. She's diligently invested quarter after quarter of her life working through the degree on a part-time basis. So it's really quite amazing. She has gone through, I think, 3 different cohorts now. So we applaud her efforts and congratulate her on this award. And thank you again. Oops, that's our last slide.
This concludes our awards list, and next we'd like to recognize all of our 2022 graduates. Is that working, Lisa? Should we play ping pong back here? You got that? I think we're going to have to.
Okay, we'll do it this way. So we would invite any Masters in Community Planning graduates in the room to please stand. Woo-hoo!
And we would like to invite our Master of Science in Geospatial Technologies to stand. Thank you very much. There you go, Lisa.
And we would like to invite our Bachelor of Arts in Sustainable Urban Development graduates to please stand.
We love all our degrees, but this is the old one. This is our original degree. We'd like to invite our Bachelor of Arts in Urban Studies to please stand. Do we have anyone? We have anyone. They're all out there changing our cities.
And we would like to invite our Bachelor of Science in Urban Design graduates to please stand. We know you're there. And to thank you all for coming. And to conclude our event tonight, we're going to hear a few closing words from Ali Madaris.
Well, thank you, and what an amazing ceremony for me to hear all the great achievements of students. Believe me, this is the best part of my day today and the best part of the year. This is always encouraging and exciting to see the future of our cities is in good hands, and I am encouraged by that. Also, award ceremonies are celebration of what you have accomplished, but what an amazing also moment for us to celebrate a life. And that was a high point as well. Daryl, I remember him by his smiles, always. Unique smile. If you had met him, you would never forget the way he smiled. So my condolences to the family, to urban studies community. Also understanding that celebrating life means that we continue to celebrate their achievement and not just the ending. The ending is the end of the sentence, but this sentence never ended. So we want you to know that Daryl will always be remembered. In terms of accomplishments, you have done it all. So great work. I'm honored to be a part of this community. I can't wait to come back and hang out a little bit more. But before I say, you know, I'm between you and leaving, so I'm keeping you for a long time. So what I wanted to say is that achievements, we never achieve anything by ourselves. We achieve it with the help of family, friends, and everyone else. So I want you to take a moment and think about this. The fact that faculty who are here and who are not here, staff members, your classmates, your family, your loved ones who have been involved in that. At the moment of our achievements, it is always good to remember that we haven't done it by ourselves. So not only congratulations to you, but congratulations to your community, the people who have supported you to get to this point. Be well, take care of yourself. Know this, you've done something that very few generations have ever done before. You have finished degrees with high achievement during a global pandemic, which you will be asked by your grandkids to describe how it felt to live through. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I want to thank the faculty, again, the advisory committee. The Community Advisory Committee is quite helpful in everything that we do, so thank you for your support. Staff, thank you, Candy, for all the great work, and Abby is not here, so in absentia, thank you all for helping us be the excellent community that we are. Thanks again, and I'll see those of you who are graduating at commencement.